Got to give the people, get the people what they want. And I think y'all might want a shorter video right here. So I'm going to do my best to make this one quick, hopefully under 5 minutes, 6 minutes. We'll see if I'm a liar. All right. So we're going to talk about special factoring situations, one which you need to memorize, the other two which you just need to know how to use. The first one that you need to memorize, this one right here, is a difference of two squares. A squared minus b squared. That's something that you just need to recognize and to be able to use. Well, why is this called a difference of two squares? This is a difference because of this subtraction sign. There is difference, right? Difference means subtract. And it's a difference of two squares because a is a perfect square, something squared is a squared, and b is a perfect square. So again, that's why it's called a difference of two perfect squares, subtracting two perfect squares. So let's break this down on what this looks like. So for example, if I see something like 9x squared minus 25y squared, okay, I should recognize that these are two perfect squares. 9 is 3 squared. X squared is a perfect square. It's x squared. 25 is 5 squared. And y squared is y squared, right? It's a perfect square. So I have two terms that are perfect squares, and they are being subtracted. So right away, I need to recognize that in this situation, if this whole thing is a squared, and this whole thing is b squared, that means a equals 3x. Really? 3x and b is equal to 5y. All right? And then I know, oh, it's just a plus b times a minus b. So 3x plus 5y, that's a plus b, times 3x minus 5y, which is a minus b. It's no equals. That's what this would factor to, okay? This factors into that. And I just know it. So a second example of that would be if I have x squared minus 16, right? In this case, a would be what? You should be like, oh, x. And b should be what? You should be like, oh, 4. So it's x plus 4 times x minus 4. This is the one that you just have to memorize. You got to know that. You should see that right away and know that's what it means. Okay? Moving on. These next two, you need to be able to use with the given formula. You do not have to memorize this formula right here. You just have to know what it means and how to use it and how to recognize when you should use it. So this is the sum of two cubes. Sum meaning addition, right? This is the sum of two cubes. And again, you should be able to pause stuff to write things down, but I'm moving fast trying to make your video short. So a cubed, some term cubed plus, oh, squared. Am I kidding? Yikes, Bass. A cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. So let's take this. So for example, we're just going to do one of them, I think. Example. Okay. Where'd it go? Sum of two cubes. Okay, so we're going to take 8x cubed plus 27y cubed. All right, so in this case, you tell me what's a and what's b. Hopefully, you just recognize that a is 2x, because 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. X times x times x equals 3. And b is 3y. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And y times y times y equals y to the third power. Okay? So, now that I know what a and b are, I can just fill in. So, it's a plus b. So, it's 2x plus y times a squared, which is 2x squared, minus a times b is... A times b is what? 6xy. 6xy plus b squared is 9y squared, right? This squared is here. This squared is here. All right, that's the difference of two cubes. All you have to know is how to recognize it. Excuse me, sum of two cubes. You got to know how to recognize it and then how to use the formula if you're given it. Last one is the difference of two cubes, which is just when you have two things being cubed and they are subtracted, okay? Equals a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. So very similar how you would factor that. So let's do, what are we going to go with? We're going to go with x cubed minus 64. Okay, x cubed, example. X cubed is a perfect cube. 64 is what? 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64, right? So I'm thinking here, a is x and b is 4. I really think it's in your favor to write these down so that you can clearly plug into the formula. So I get a minus b, so it's x minus 4, times a squared, x squared, plus a times b, which is 4x, plus b squared, which is 16. Boom. This factored into that. Boom, bow, and surprise, I am done. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Mr. Bass, I'm out in these streets. Let's go.